Hey, gang, I've got a great idea for the weekend. It's a big day on Saturday, the biggest day for horse racing in the state of Pennsylvania. The Bet Parks Pennsylvania Derby, listen to this, TC, and Cotillion Day.
Oh, wow.
You haven't been at Cotillion since the North Carolina School of Animal Husbandry.
With my white gloves and my gown.
You can take them to Parks this Saturday.
Perfect. Can't wait.
As the Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association and Parks Racing present $2 million races in one day, some of the top horses, jockeys, and trainers from all across the country. It's at Parks Racing, the horse track, right next to the casino, just off Street Road, the exit off of I-95. Frankly convenient for the whole northeastern part of the country. Gates open at 10 a.m. Free family fun in the Parks Racing Picnic Grove. Activities for the kids, food, beverage specials all day long. This year's championship ambassadors are a pair of fan favorites. Philly hockey Keith Jones legend, the legend Keith Jones, that's what I should have said, and Seth Joyner, the former Eagle. Vocalist Kane Callis, that's Harry's son, performing God Bless America, live music, a fun day. You got to be 18 to wager at Parks Racing and must be 21 to gamble at the casino. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you have nothing to do on Saturday, what a great activity that sounds like it will be. Time now for some of the headlines from the Thursday edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. So I had to go back and rewatch the scene from Borat 2 with Rudy Giuliani.
Oh.
I wanted to remind myself, given the Cassidy Hutchinson allegation about Rudy preying on her on January 6th, I just wanted to
What was the date of that? In other words,
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
2020.
Borat. Okay, so it was 2020.
Borat 2 comes out.
And remind me, it was somehow like a young woman had him in a room and she was being a little frisky and
she was a journalist. She was a journalist.
Was she being frisky?
This is what I needed to remember.
Right.
So Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, is playing a sound technician.
Okay.
Okay, and he's kind of an oddball at the beginning of the scene, and she's attractive, and she's wearing a tight-fitting skirt.
And the story is that she's interviewing him for something.
Yeah, and they're talking about COVID and 3 years ago.
In a hotel room.
In a hotel room.
With a bed, not a suite.
Well, it's a suite, and they're in like a living area.
Okay.
It looks legit and appropriate.
Okay, that's my question.
But she is a little handsy with him and very complimentary, and he's, one reaction that I had is he looks a hell of a lot healthier.
Oh, no.
3 years have worn on him. So they have conversation, and Borat is
But still, it's because I know it's a movie. If you didn't know it was a movie, if this was like NBC, CBS, CNN, would it be appropriate?
I mean, you'd be saying, what's Rudy doing with this out, why is he spending time with some nondescript media outlet?
No, but I'm asking a different question. Would her behavior be seen as normal and professional in the
hand on the knee?
world?
Absolutely not. I mean, how about this? She's flirtatious with him.
Right.
Okay. Borat now is kind of fumbling around with his boom microphone, and she pushes him out of the room and says, you're going to be in the lobby. Now it's just the two of them, okay? And by the way, they're also having a drink. You're asking me about, is it standard?
Professional? Right.
Yeah, no, they're having a scotch.
Oh.
So when the interview is over, now she says, do you want to continue our drink in the bedroom?
Okay. Well,
so now
there you go.
they go into a bedroom,
Okay.
and Rudy sits down on the bed.
Oh, geez.
This is the part that you'll remember.
Yeah, I do remember
She's removing his microphone, and because of the cord going down the front of his shirt, she helps him pull the Oxford cloth shirt that had been tucked into his drawers.
Right.
And now he appears to be himself doing something with his hand in his pants. I mean, there's no, let me be clear, there's no act of masturbation.
Right.
But it might be headed in that direction.
Fumbling.
You don't
There's
know.
some fumbling.
And now Borat comes back in,
Right.
wearing like a bra and pink underwear, and says she's only 15. And then Rudy gets himself out of that and says, this guy is nuts. And it seems like Rudy's got like a security guy outside I think he called the police thereafter. When the movie came out, here's what The Guardian said.
Wow. Ugh,
the reputation of Rudy
embarrassing.
Giuliani could be set for a further blow with the release of highly embarrassing footage in Sacha Baron Cohen's follow-up to Borat in the film released on Friday. The former New York mayor and current personal attorney to Donald Trump is seen reaching into his trousers and apparently touching his genitals while reclining on a bed in the presence of the actor playing Borat's daughter, who is posing as a TV journalist following an obsequious interview for a fake conservative news program. The pair retreat at her suggestion for a drink to the bedroom of a hotel suite, which is rigged with concealed cameras. After she removes his microphone, Giuliani can be seen lying back on the bed, fiddling with his untucked shirt and reaching into his trousers. They're then interrupted by Borat, who runs in and says she's 15. Why am I bringing this up? I mean, it's not with any joy that I'm bringing up Rudy's problems. I mean, it's sad, just sad. But now Cassidy Hutchinson, who mid to late 20s, I guess, had been an aide to Mark Meadows. She made kind of a star appearance in the January 6th Congressional Committee hearings. She's releasing a book. She says in the book something she had not said previously, and Rudy is saying, like, you know, it's a few years later. Why is she doing this now? She's making it up to sell a book. That's what he says. Cassidy Hutchinson, the former Trump aide turned crucial January 6 witness, says in her new book she was groped by Rudy, who was like a wolf closing in on its prey on the day of the attack. So this is like backstage.
He's getting all fired up. He's all excited.
January 6. She said that he put his hand under her blazer, then her skirt. I felt his frozen fingers trail up my thigh.
Oh, geez.
He tilts his chin up. The whites of his eyes look jaundiced. My eyes dart to Trump advisor John Eastman, who flashes a leering grin. I fight against the tension in my muscles and recoil from Rudy's grip. Filled with rage, I storm through the tent on yet another quest for Mark, meaning Mark Meadows.
Good grief.
Yeah. So...
And I'm sure the other side is saying, why are we just hearing about this now? Oh, it's because she has a book out.
Ted Goldman is Rudy's spokesperson and political advisor. It's fair to ask Cassidy Hutchinson why she is just now coming out with these allegations from 2.5 years ago as part of the marketing campaign for her upcoming book release. This is a disgusting lie against Mayor Rudy Giuliani, a man whose distinguished career in public service includes taking down the mafia, cleaning up New York City, and comforting the nation following September 11.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another bad chapter. How's that?
Yeah. Sad story pertaining to Rudy. By the way, I don't want to forget to mention, today is Thursday. TC After Dark drops today. Brand new issue. I'm always talking about my book club podcasts, 3 of them a week, every day, a different daily podcast from yours truly, but Thursdays belong to TC.
So the question is, are you hot and single?
No.
Are you hot or single?
Well,
yes.
Stop and think.
So I interviewed this woman named Steph Dagg. You know, I find these things on Instagram that are just so fun and interesting. There are 2 accounts. One is called Overheard New York, where people send in anonymously things that they overhear in different parts of New York. It is a riot. Part of Overheard New York is they produce a series called Hot and Single with Steph Dagg, young woman, comedian, hosting different singles to try to find out you're single. Is the problem you? It is a riot. And you have to watch it because she says more with like one little arched eyebrow or sideways glance because she's a comedian and she's a riot. And she's also very open about sex and about kinks and about what you're looking for.
Oh my.
And
this is the way you envision TC After Dark originally.
Oh yeah, completely.
Wow.
And she's about, there's a series spent to her where she is about sex education. Michael, she has this whole series where she interviews men about female anatomy.
Oh my.
That is appalling. Gentlemen, like, go back to school a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
In other words, the men don't know things that you would think that they would know.
Anything.
Don't know anything.
She says there's a reason she started that.
Right.
And she tells me the story. I can't repeat it. I just can't repeat it. I'm just telling you it's funny.
I am eagerly looking forward to this episode of TC After Dark.
Hot and single.
There you go.
Yes.
More from the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. Today's poll question. Should states automatically register to vote eligible residents when they obtain driver's licenses. I'm asking the question today because Pennsylvania has become the latest state to implement automatic voter registration. It's expected to boost the number of registered voters in our critical swing state in anticipation of November's election and then, of course, the presidential race next year. So I like it. Pennsylvanians will be automatically asked to complete the voter registration process when getting a driver's license when they go to the Department of Transportation offices. We have always been able to register to vote at the Department of Transportation outposts, but we had to opt into the process. Now residents who don't want to register to vote will have to opt out. So we kind of shifted it. It's sort of, actually just occurred to me, it's sort of like the organ donor process. And I remember I've referenced Cass Sunstein on a number of occasions about the whole nudge business. When you ask people generally about organ donation, they're like, yeah, I think it's a great thing. People ought to donate their organs. But those numbers are not matched by the number of people who actually do check the designation for organ donation. And Sunstein's point has been, we've got to change the nudge. Like, if that's the sentiment, then let's say you're presumed to be an organ donor unless you check the box and say, no, I don't want to do that. It's the same principle now with going into the Department of Transportation and registering to vote. They're trying to give you the nudge, is what I'm saying. There are 23 other states and Washington, D.C. that already have some version of automatic voter registration. Make sure you go to Smerconish.com and cast a ballot as to whether you think this is a step in the right direction. I want more people voting. I think when more people vote, we dilute the fringe among us, and that's a good thing. Yesterday, should elderly politicians, including candidates for the presidency, undergo mandatory cognitive testing? I was a no vote on this back in the minority role. It was 2/3, 66% say, yeah, that's a good thing. There ought to be. I don't know how you actually carry it out. I think we have a cognitive test. It's called the Iowa caucus. We have another one called the New Hampshire primary, South Carolina, Nevada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there was a lot of interest in that subject yesterday, and I was a bit surprised by the outcome. Do you remember the name Kevin DeLeon? Do you remember the controversy in Los Angeles with the city council and union officials and the tape conversation, the backroom conversation that came to life, rife with disparaging and racist language, which exposed these deep fissures in the city along ethnic and ideological lines? Well, he's the last elected official still in a position from that whole scandal.
And
he's now running for re-election.
It's not over till it's over.
The taped backroom conversation, rife with disparaging and racist language, exposed deep fissures in the city along ethnic and ideological lines and piled on fresh embarrassment to a city council already decimated by ethics scandals. As the only participant still in office, DeLeon has been the most visible emblem of an ugly chapter in the city's history, so says the Los Angeles Times.
He says in an interview, when a lot of people that I called my friends and allies turned away from me, my constituents had my back. I understood in a deeper way the relationship that I had with my community and how that motivates and drives me. That's why I'm still here, and that's why I'm running.
Read the story from Al Jazeera at Smerconish.com today. Headline, Iran's parliament approves hijab bill. It's actually a hijab and chastity bill that lays out punishment for people, especially women, who violate the country's mandatory dress code rules. So what does it actually do? It defines new frameworks for how Iranians, especially women, need to conform to the country's mandatory dress code, which has been in place since the revolution in 1979. For women, TC, see if you can.
Okay, here we go.
See if you can live to this.
Yep.
Unacceptable covering has been defined as revealing or tight clothing or clothing that shows parts of the body lower than the neck.
Oh dear, I'm wearing a V-neck.
Or above the ankles or above the forearms, according to the latest version. For men, it's been defined as revealing clothing that shows parts of the lower body lower than the chest or above the ankles or shoulders. It also sets new punishment for people who are found to be in violation of the rules, totaling more than 70 articles. The bill defines an array of financial penalties for hijab violations, which could be ramped up to prison terms if found to be done in an organized manner and in contact with foreign governments, network, media groups, or organizations.
Well, I thought that was interesting. So it's differentiating between, one but a slip up if someone is not dressed properly versus someone who's trying to make a point. If you're trying to make a point, they're really going to come down on you.
Okay, well, I'm trying to make a point. The point I'm trying to make is that we spend so much time here in the course of a week on POTUS talking about the problems of our country. This, for me, was just a little bit of a wake up. Like, thank God we are living in the United States. Can you imagine if you were in Iran and people are regulating how you dress?
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of how you dress, let's talk about
how... You can't
how...
even get people to buckle up their seatbelt around here.
True.
True. Are you kidding me?
Let's talk about how King Charles dresses. I love the story. Also found today at Smerconish.com, where he's out for a stroll at Balmoral with his hat and his walking stick.
Yeah, he's just going for a walk.
I have a walking stick, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where do you use it?
When I go for a walk?
Like around here?
No, not around here.
Okay.
Not around here.
At the bunker.
In a location to be
right. When you're at the bunker
later.
When you're at the bunker, you use it.
My walking stick was given to me. This was the greatest. If I ever come and speak to your group, okay, I'm looking at all of you now, and I'm speaking to all of you now. If I ever come and speak to your group,
that's the present you want.
Please don't give me a plaque of any kind.
Wait, your garden plaque is good.
Which one?
The garden plaque.
Oh, that's fabulous. That was from the farmers in Illinois.
Exactly.
I hung that in my garden.
I know. That's my point.
Like the conventional plaque or medallion.
Okay.
What am I going to do with that?
No crystal bowl.
I'm going to sound pompous, and I am. But I've had too many of those. I don't want any more of those.
Okay, no more plaques. Got it. What are we giving?
About 20 years ago, I spoke to the Boy Scouts at a big fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And they gave to me a walking stick that says BSA on it.
Nice.
Boy Scouts of America. And I love it.
Does it just fit you right? And
I don't know. I just love it. And it's not that I need to be steadied or something. It's just, you go for a walk like in a field. It's just nice to have a stick.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to King Charles.
Yes.
So there's a cyclist, a Scotsman, Andrew McAvoy is his name.
He goes by McTrail Rider. Like, he has a whole YouTube channel.
Yeah. And he had a GoPro.
Right, because he was filming the whole thing.
So he's on a bike ride, and here's King Charles, and they had a pleasant conversation.
It is like the best. Wait, you want to hear a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. It's lovely. It's quite bumpy though.
Your old hands, I feel like.
We do our best. Andrew's a minor celebrity in the mountain bike world.
Really?
Yeah.
Not compared to you, sir.
Probably on the mountain bike.
So is this your summer vacation to Balmoral, is it?
It's wonderful.
The weather was better.
I know, it's typical.
Yeah.
The midges are horrendous.
The worst I felt.
Midges are horrendous.
What's a midge? A fly?
Like a gnat. Like little gnat. Like little no-see-ums.
That's so funny.
The midges are horrendous.
Can you imagine?
And it's all wet. I mean, it's exactly as you expect the moors to be. It is wet. It is dark. He's got his cap on. He's got his jacket on. He's got, it's just like, it is the best thing ever. All by himself.
It's really fun.
All by himself.
Click on the link in the newsletter or on the website today, and you'll be able to watch it. I guess
I love this stuff.
Yet another foreign story, because this has a dateline of Germany. Is childhood really the happiest period of a person's life? A new study finds that you might have to wait a while to really find the bright side of life. A team of international researchers has found that a child's life satisfaction actually decreases between the ages of 9 and 16 before rising up and peaking at the age of 70.
Well, I read also in that article that between 22 and 60, it kind of goes downhill. I'm thinking, a
little something to look forward to.
I'm in the midst of it.
A little something to look forward to if you should make it that far.
Right.
I put a question mark at the end of the headline that says that Jason seems to confirm that Travis is an item with Taylor. Explain.
Okay, well, it's interesting because you're not alone. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Jason Kelce just confirmed that his brother Travis is dating Taylor Swift," but really he didn't. I mean, what he went on WIP here in Philadelphia 2 days ago and said. He was asked about the rumors that Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift. And he said, it's hard to answer because I don't really know a lot about what's happening in Travis's love life. I try to keep his business as his business and straight out of that world. Having said that, I think it's 100% true. So what he's saying is, I have no idea, but hey, I'll go with it. It was one of these sort of lighthearted things. And then people were like, oh my gosh, he said it's 100% true, but he really didn't.
Can I say that I've been on a roll with my viewing Netflix in particular,
watching
and
now?
a lot of sports shows. And
Yes.
I've given you the whole list before. Quarterbacks at the top of the list.
Yes.
The Johnny Football documentary is great. I watched a documentary about the Paul brothers. That was terrific. Conor McGregor Forever.
Oh,
I
the
watched
fighting,
that.
yeah.
I mean, all of these different sport-themed shows. And I don't think I've yet mentioned, last weekend, I watched the Jason Kelsey documentary, I guess.
It's on Jason, not Travis, right?
Yeah, Travis
Okay,
is in it.
sure.
But Jason, it's fabulous.
I find them so appealing.
It is so
Yeah.
great. Watch this show and for those who remember, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and the speech that he delivered in full Mummers regalia, it was
Best thing I've ever seen.
It was one of the greatest speeches. Seriously.
Yeah.
One of the greatest speeches I've ever watched.
well, and
delivered.
you are an aficionado of public speaking.
It was so real and so raw and so funny.
Right.
So if you're looking for a little something to watch tonight, that's my recommendation.
Sounds good.
All right, TC After Dark, it drops today.
Hot
Go
single.
listen to TC and subscribe to the newsletter. Like and subscribe, of course, for YouTube. See you tomorrow.